What happens when you bring three diabolical minds into the same room? What do you get? The Cabal is what you get. Celebrating 85 years of Marvel, Hasbro Marvel Legends brings you the Taskmaster, the Iron Patriot, and Doctor Doom. What is good, my peeps? It's the Ruckus humming, coming at you, back at you again after a pretty long hiatus, but that hiatus was with good reason. Spent a lot of time at the San Diego Comic-Con. Yes, I was there for the entire event, as I'm sure some of you know from some of the uploads that I put down prior to this, of course. And I wanted to actually come back and do a review of Death's Head, which was it premiered, if you will, at San Diego Comic-Con. I wanted to do that, but when I got home, I had a whole bunch of packages, hauls, coming in, and one of them was this little ditty right here, the 3-pack, Amazon exclusive 3-pack of the Cabal, and I was like, nah, I've got to lead with this. But then the other thing that happened, as luck would have it, I brought something besides exclusives back with me from San Diego Comic-Con. I was sick, so and it was the kind that brings the coughing, the hacking, and the sneezing, and that does not make for a good video review. So I had to wait until I got over that, and here we are. So enough of that. Let's get down with this. This is an Amazon exclusive. This is the Cabal. At least 3 members of that grouping. We have Anthony Masters, aka Taskmaster. We have the Iron Patriot, but we know him better as Norman Osborn, and we know him even better as the once and future Green Goblin. And of course, last but never ever least, Dr. Victor Von Doom. Yes, indeed. This was back in the Siege run of Marvel, where Norman put together a round table of we'll call them criminal masterminds or evil masterminds, because I don't think at least half of that squad would consider themselves criminals, but villainous, definitely. And that was also during the time, what spawned from that was also the Dark Avengers, which was led by Norman Osborn, aka the Iron Patriot. And it was an entire story. It's a good read. If you haven't read that, I would definitely advise it. I would definitely suggest it. So you see the 3 figures within. You see Marvel celebrating 85 years. At the top, we also have that same logo. And off to the side, we have some artwork of Norman, or Iron Patriot, versus Doctor Doom. So I guess that lets you know that that grouping did not turn out well. Then we go to the back and you get a full shot of that picture, of that artwork. Left of us, you've got some thumbnails of Doom, Osborn, and Masters. And then, of course, the nice shot of Doctor Doom versus the Iron Patriot. And what do you see down here? What is that? That is Loki. Looks like he's joining in the fun. But we don't have any Lokis that are, that in that costume. You know what I'm saying? So is that an Easter egg of what's to come? Or if it isn't, do we that have him have to break out this guy? Because that's the costume right there. that's it right there of that particular Loki. So maybe we'll get a redo. This guy, we got this way back in the day. This isn't even a Marvel Legends. This was a Walmart exclusive. It was a part of a Thor wave or series, whatever. And I remember when I saw this, I had to get it because I just loved this look on Loki. He was bigger, thicker. He looked meaner. He looked more of a threat for Thor. So I had to go on and get him. But maybe we'll be getting, maybe we'll have a Marvel Legends version of that particular thing. Next to Loki, we do see Taskmaster down there chilling in the spot. So, we may be getting Loki in that particular getup. Here's hoping anyway. I wanted to show you guys how they packed the accessories because you really couldn't see them on the outside, looking into the packaging. But you see you've got 3 figures here, and then there's a tray underneath there showing all the accessories, so you can see that the Cabal does come with a fair amount of accessories. So now that you guys know that, what we're going to do is begin this review in earnest. And keep in mind, this is a 3-pack, so it's going to this is going to be lengthy. So grab some popcorn and dig in. Since he's almost entirely the same figure that we've gotten before, we're going to kick it off with Victor himself, Dr. Doom. And there are changes, but this is essentially the same Doom that we've gotten twice before, Super Scroll Wave and a deluxe retro carded set that came with a fair amount of accessories right here. And speaking of accessories, let's step Doomsy back a little bit and talk about the accessories he did come with. And we have a set of fists that we've got there, and he comes with his Luger, I guess we'll call it that, or what passes for one for him, that you can fit in his holster, which is on his right hip. And then finally, this as an external accessory is the highlight right here. We've got a Doombot head, and you see what it's like, got the red eyes. I think that, at least I hope anyway, that this is the precursor for what's to come. I believe we may get Doombots. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how Hasbro would present them. I don't know if they'd go the same route as they did with their Skrull infiltrators and the Kree soldiers or whatever. But, or they just, they come solid or whatever. But I believe we're going to get Doombots now that we have this head. Anyway, the other great thing that it's not really an accessory per se because it's on his person. We're going to start off, I'll turn him to the side. He comes with a soft goods cape, which is the first time we've gotten that with the Dr. Doom. So that's pretty nice right there. And there are, like I said, we do have differences with this Doom. And let's show you what we're talking about. And here we have the 2 previous Dooms alongside, side by side with our Cabal Doom. We've got the Super Skrull version on our left, sporting the soft goods cape. Had to go that route. And on our right, we have the Deluxe Retro, who has a soft goods tunic, I guess, collar. And I got him a soft goods cape too. It's just that I wanted to show the differences. So, we've got an aftermarket soft goods cape on our left. We've got the plastic cape that Doomsy comes with. Standard, at least the prior 2 times, on our right. And in the middle, the Cabal, we've got the soft goods. The soft goods with the Cabal is just that there's no bendy wire in there, so there's no posing it or anything like that, but we do have it. And so you see the differences as far as the cape go. As far as the figure goes itself, obviously you've got different head sculpts, but the true differences are one, you could see immediately is the cape or collar clasps. You see how it looks on the Cabal version, and on the retro card version, you see what we got here, looking pretty nice. And it would be more or less like that with this version, but because we are sporting the soft goods cape, you see a great job has been done to give us the chains that connect the clasps up. You also have differences in the belts, as you can see, different color. Obviously, different color with the tunic, the skirt, whatever you want to call what Doom sports here. Different shades of green we've got going on, and there's actually different shades when it comes to the armor. The Super Scroll version has a more metallic look than any of them. The retro that came with a whole bunch of accessories, the armor still comes up looking kind of plasticky, and our Cabal version is also look kind of plastic-like to me, but not as egregiously as our retro. We also have, you could look there, see right there on the neck, there's a difference than when you have with the other two. And I believe we also have a difference when it comes to the legs. I'm going to grab the Super Scroll version and take a look at those legs, and you can see how they are connected, how his lower extremities, the armor for that, are connected with like belts, and they've got buckles, which Hasbro kindly actually painted. I'm going to set him aside now and see what's going on with our retro. The retro also has them, but they're not painted, as you can see. Setting retro aside, and now our Cabal guy, he's got them. Is there any differences on the outer sides of the legs? I think there are. So let me move his cape out of the way, and you can see that difference. Move this cape out of the way, and there doesn't seem that those look identical. And now I'll take the Super Scroll version and look at that, and yep, they look pretty identical. So yep, the they're rocking the outsides the same basically. The other thing is they did adjust the skirt length on our Cabal Doom, as we've got the original Super Scroll Doom here. You see how long that skirt piece is on that one, and the same goes for our retro carded one. So yeah, they did. This was a point of contention when these two figures came out, because everyone was saying the skirts were too long, it should be short. So Hasbro did correct that. Taking a closer look at that the chest area that I was speaking of before, you see what we got going on there. He doesn't have that on the other two versions of Doom. And let's pop his top and bring out that Doombot head. Get that on there, and that's what you have. And I do believe that we'll probably get Doombot figures. They won't have capes. They'll just be, you know, essentially what you see here with the head, and they'll be army build worthy. So, you know, you got that. While I've got this head on, I may as well do the articulation, because you know he's not going to be able to move back like that with his hooded head. He can go down that far. It's a very little pivot, and that's about it. He can get you a pretty decent T-pose there. And of course he can rotate 360. He doesn't have any butterfly joints, but he can still kind of rear back decently, as you can see right there. And he can clasp decently for not having any butterflies. That's cool. He's got the bicep. He's got the double jointed. He's pinned because this is an older mold. Like I said, he's the least new, undone, the same figure essentially. He's got wrist hinge swivel and horizontal wrist articulation. He's got a like a diaphragm, and he can go forward like that. He can actually go up or back, I should say, kind of like that, not too much. You can get a little bit side to side, and of course you can rotate hips out that far. That's because the skirt is going to impede. Same thing with kicking forward and back. He does have a thigh cut. He's got double jointed pinned knees. Once again, this is an older figure. My bottom knee wants to give me some issues, but you know it's there. And he's got like a ball joint there on the ankle, so it rolls that way, and he can point his toe forward that far up. Like I said, he's got ankle pivot, and he's got holes, peg holes at the bottom of his feet. Also, if you pull back his cape, you see he's got his jets, and he could actually utilize the accessories that come with Iron Patriot to pin in there, but he didn't come with any for himself, but you can use that or use whatever repulsor accessories you may have lying around. So that's what you have there with our, in this case, Doombot. Next up, we have Tony Masters, aka Taskmaster, blessed with photographic reflexes. He sees you do it, he can do it. Of course, the caveat is he has an issue. He's got memory loss, long-term memory loss. He always has to keep records of things so he can remember, and he keeps recordings of certain heroes, villains, individuals, and their fighting styles. So all he's got to do is look at them, and he can mimic them immediately. No practice, no nothing. Anyway, that's the little thing on the character. This figure here is we've gotten him before in this particular costume. It was on the Bucky cap that we got just about every male character on, unless you were the Hulk. And this is on the Vulcan body, and it's a definite upgrade for sure. He's bigger. He's thicker. You know what I'm saying? More robust looking, and they've definitely improved upon the first one. We'll move him back so you can see what Tasky comes with. He comes with his sword. We've seen this sword before, and it's basically the same thing, you know, that we've gotten before, and we've seen it for more than just Taskmaster. We've seen it with Baron Zemo, etc. We also get a bow, which is pretty nice looking. Of course, the this part right here is not string. It's a rubbery kind of plastic, pretty cool. And we also get another arrow, so you can actually pose him like he's stringing his bow. And on the back of his cape, his quiver is affixed to it. You can't remove it. There is space in there to put the other arrow in, so that's cool right there. So he's got that, and then of course you know he's gonna rock his shield. Now this shield is made with that infamous clip design that we all love. Yeah, right, being sarcastic there. Always afraid that it may break. The good thing is that they made the improvement on the shield is that it's bigger. So that's cool. It was very, very small before, and people didn't really like that. So we did get that. As far as our boy Tony is concerned, taking a look at some of the deets on him. That skull mask, look and all that. I'm loving it. The teeth, everything is cool. And then, of course, the figure is basically molded in blue, and you've got the we'll call it an orange-like color adorned with a white perimeter right there. Mine's looking pretty clean. You've got what's going on there. The gloves. We've got the he's got his tighty whities on the outside, as you can see. He's got the belt, his buckle. It's got his emblem on there, and mine's painted pretty nice. Looking at that cape, he's got the Doctor Doom style clasps going on, pretty cool. He's got a harness type belt that goes across his chest. We've got some pink there for the buckle. That's nice. When you look at the right thigh, he's got his holster right there. And I did forget to mention that he does come with a weapon of his own. So let us not forget that. Where is it? Somewhere. It's somewhere up here. We'll find it, and we're gonna find it while we're on camera. I have found it. Here it is. Yes, he does come with a weapon of his own, and it does fit. Let's see if I get that in there. It fit. You push it all the way in, and it should remain snug. He also comes with since I'm breaking out even more of his accessories, he comes with a set of fists. I'll show it to you right here. See if I get him to stand up for me. So yeah, he comes with an additional set of fists, and he comes with a third hand, not a pair, just a hand by itself, a world domination, or he's not really a mastermind like that. We'll just call it a grasping hand for him. So he does come with that. And this is a, typical Vulcan articulation. He's got the butterfly joints. So we'll see how far back he can rear. Pretty cool. How close can he clasp? Not bad at all. As far as head articulation, because of the nature of that with the hood, you see it just popped off because it's going to be difficult. You're not going to really look up. He can look down kind of. You're not going to get much in terms of left, pivot, but he can rotate. And, he's got the bicep swivel, and this is the Vulcan body, so double jointed pinless elbows. He's got swiveling wrists, and since he holds his sword, we've got vertical wrist hinges, and that is on both sides of the trigger finger too. The additional hands are all horizontal. He's got an ab crunch that allows him to go that far forward. He can go that far back. He's got waist articulation, so he can swivel that way. He can do the splits that far out. He can kick about 90, yeah. Go back that much. He's got the thigh cut. You see on the other side there, he's got a wrap around his left thigh. He's got, which is loose. I just kicked it down, so you see that right there. So push that up, get it where you want it. That's going to end up being a nuisance, I can tell. And he's got double jointed pinless knees, as you can see there. He would have a boot cuff, but because his boots are actually the same shape as his legs, they're not circular, so they're not going to be rotating. He can point his toe that far forward, that far up. He's got ankle pivot and holes, peg holes at the bottom of his feet. And here's our Cabal Tasky on our left, side by side with the first version of this costume on our right. Like I said, bucket cap body, so you can see the size difference in both the figure and the shield. Like I mentioned, the shields are definitely a different size. We've got a larger shield. They still both have that clip technology, so be very careful when you're utilizing it for sure. But yeah, that is our Taskmaster. And lastly, what would most likely be for many the highlight of this 3-pack, we've got Norman Osborn, aka the Iron Patriot, the leader of the Dark Avengers, and if you let him tell it, the mastermind of the Cabal, though I'm sure the likes of Dr. Doom has something to say about that. And if you go by that artwork on the packaging, he definitely had something to say about it. Anyway, this is our second outing with the Iron Patriot. We got an Iron Patriot way back in the Iron Man, Ironmonger wave, and that was definitely in the dark days of Iron Man, because anything Iron Man or armored, anything like that was grossly undersized, and yeah, it just wasn't good, even for back then. Even for back then, when we didn't have our modern day sculpts and things to gauge by, we still had sizes of other figures, and it just wasn't good. Normally, in an Iron Man armor, an individual will be standing about 6'6", and at the very least, it would look like large enough that a human being could fit in. But back in the day, you'd be like, only a boy could fit in that armor, for sure. But anyway, we've got a new version of the Iron Patriot. This is based off of the Extremis armor, which is pretty recent. I think it came out, it was sometime either mid or early last year, 2023. So there have been some changes, but it's based off of that sculpt, and it was based off of the armor in the Siege and Dark Reign storylines. I believe I said Siege prior to in this review, and it was there was some Siege in there, but it was Dark Reign, Siege, Dark Avengers. It was a crazy time back then in Marvel. Good reads all, though. I would advise you to check them all out. Anyway, speaking of checking things out, let's step Normie back a little bit so we can take a look at his accessories. He comes with an additional, here we go right here, set of hands. These are blasting hands, and fortunately we've got hinges, so that's great. And you see the holes, the peg holes for the next set, which would be the blast effects, the repulsor blasts. And you can fit these either in the hands like so, or the feet like so. Sitting on me back up, and you can even have him basically, you could use these effects for like what we showed before. Bring Doomsy out here real quick, and those jets that he has on his back, they port in that way. And of course you could port them in the bottom of the feet if you so desired, though Dr. Doom almost never has boot jets going on. So yeah, I don't I mean, you could do what you want with your figure, but in the for the sake of accuracy, you would have him using the jets on his rear blasters there. And then we of course get the helmet for the Iron Patriot. He comes out of packaging sporting the Norman Osborn head, but we got it this time, and you see it's like a pearlescent white. In fact, a lot of his all of his lighter accoutrements are pearl white, as you can see there. The initial images were silver. We were told it was always meant to be white. Those were production images that we had gotten before. I think it's like the same thing that happened with the Superior Iron Man, and it's wild because the Superior Iron Man was, from what they said, he was basically white, but the different angles made him appear silver, and most of the collecting community wasn't buying that. They was like, just make it silver, you know what I'm saying, and let us worry about angles and shadows and stuff like that. Same thing would go for Guy Normie here, but still nice looking figure for sure. And the head sculpt for Norman is, he looks tired. He looks kind of sleepy there, you know what I'm saying? But, he's got the dark circles under the eyes. He looks, there's a lot to manage. The Cabal, the Dark Avengers, Oscorp, the whole thing, but very nice head sculpt. The standard waves that Norman Osborn has. Osborn was sporting waves before waves became a thing back in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? And still looks good here. As far as the rest of him, that also is looking pretty nice metallic kind of blue. We've got a sheen there, so that's cool. I don't have, or at least I don't see, no marbling going on. So that's a great thing right there. In terms of articulation, we've got his head is on a hinge, so you would think we could go back a little bit better. And it looks like pretty good enough if you arch the back, get him in some flight poses. He can look down. He can look up. I already did the up, right? And yet down, he gives you some pivot, and you can roll 360. I'm going to pop the head off and put the armored head on so we can both see it. The armor on him fully armored, that looks really good. But then to get an idea how far back this head can go. And so, yeah, that's pretty good right there. So definitely. T-posing. Mine's is pretty stiff, but he can get you, I believe he can get you close. Well, maybe not. That seems to be like it on both ends, and that's because of how thick this is, meaning the shoulders, and it's not going over the shoulder pads. It's not going over the shoulders, so you're going to be pretty limited in terms of trying to T-pose. I believe it can 360 it though. And even trying to rear back, it's difficult with those shoulder pads. So you get that. You do have the bicep swivel. You've got double jointed pinless elbows, rotating wrists, and a horizontally hinge. He's got a diaphragm cut, so he can go back that far, which is cool when you combine it with the head, so you know he can get a nice flying pose going on. Goes forward just a little bit, and you can get some side tilt, and you're going to get your rotation at that diaphragm. At the hips, he can almost Van Damme it totally. Very nice. Kick that far forward, that far back. He's got the thigh cut, double jointed pinless knees. My lower knee, there we go. It's pretty good. There we go, right there. Thought it was going to give me problems. No swivels there at boots or whatever. He can't point his toe that far forward. That far up, he's got ankle pivot. And, of course, holes. Pickles at the bottom of his feet. Here's the Extremis Iron Man armor from the Puff Adder wave. Yeah, it was Puff Adder. And you see the similarities there. There are differences. You can see that, of course, obviously the torso, the upper torso had to be changed out. We've got the same feet going on. So you can see that. Got the same feet going on. And they changed, of course, the thighs because on Iron Man, his red boots, he's sporting the thigh-high boots. Whereas even Normie is sporting them, but you got the different paint going on and the way how they, at the top there, so they're different. And of course, the helmets are different. Then taking Extremis out and bringing in the first, make sure he can stand, There we go. This is the Ironmonger Wave version of Iron Patriot. Now look at the size differences. And this isn't even a Bucky cap type thing. This is what we were going through with all Iron Man style figures back then. Way too small. I mean, like I said, only a boy could really fit in that armor. And that's our review of the Cabal, consisting of Taskmaster, Dr. Doom, and of course Norman Osborn, aka the Iron Patriot. That is what we got for the Cabal. But wait, we do have figures that we can use to complete our Cabal. We've got, we're going to start over on our far right. We've got Namor in the appropriate costume for the Cabal. Behind him we have got the the hood. We definitely have that. And then to the right, our left of Doom, you see behind there, we've got Lady Loki. And speaking of ladies, we have got Emma Frost. So there you have it. That's the Cabal, and that's the shot that we're going to wrap this review up with. So what do you think about the 3-pack? What's your favorite out the 3-pack? Are you going to pick it up? Do you, you're not even interested? What's up? This is part of the 85th anniversary line, and for me, this was number 4 in the review train, so managed to get that one in. So yeah, what do you guys think? Are you enjoying the 85th anniversary celebration, or what's going on with you? You know, like I said, we've got the full Cabal here. I'm happy to see the whole crew like this. And even though you can't tell because I've got her hidden behind Tasky, Emma isn't in the costume that she wore when she was down with the Cabal, but you see what's going on with Lady Loki there. So this is what we got. Let me know what you think and put that down below. And we're going to continue on with our 85 years of Marvel celebration, because that's how it'll get done.